Ilara gawked in disbelief as Ambassador Grant plunged into a pool of pure dihydrogen monoxide, a substance so toxic it could melt Iridian flesh like acid. The human swam through the deadly liquid, his skin unaffected by its destructive touch. "I tell you, Krulix, these humans never cease to amaze me," Ilara said, shaking his bulbous head as he sipped a viscous nutrient slurry through a proboscis straw. The two Iridian diplomats watched the inconceivable scene unfold at the luxurious reception aboard the human starship UES Concordia. "Did you see that? Ambassador Grant immersed his entire body in dihydrogen monoxide intentionally. As if that weren't crazy enough, he then ingested copious amounts of the stuff, pouring it directly into his mouth orifice. I could scarcely believe my optical organs." Krulix's antennae twitched in shock. "Surely you jest, Ilara. Dihydrogen monoxide is lethal to our kind. Its solvent properties break down our cellular structures on contact. A single droplet on the skin means necrosis within minutes. Ingesting it is suicide. The humans must have far hardier biologies than we realized. What could drive them to willingly, regularly expose themselves to such a potent and destructive chemical?" Ilara's proboscis fluttered. "I have no idea, but that wasn't even the strangest part." After submerging himself in the dihydrogen monoxide, Ambassador Grant just climbed out sopping wet, but totally unharmed. He acted like it was completely normal. Then he had the audacity to offer me a glass of the stuff to drink. As if I have a death wish. These humans play with dihydrogen monoxide like it's harmless. They're either insane or invulnerable, and I'm not sure which is more terrifying. The Iridian diplomats knew they had to unravel this mystery. The humans' inexplicable immunity to the universe's deadliest solvent defied all known science. If the humans could unlock the secret to withstanding dihydrogen monoxide, it would revolutionize everything from planetary terraforming to interstellar travel. The fate of the Iridian conclave, and perhaps the galaxy itself, hinged on understanding this shocking human ability. Ilara and Krulix vowed to get to the bottom of it, no matter the cost. Ilara's mandibles clicked together in astonishment. "By the Great Hive, Krulix, that's unbelievable. The humans walked into the tradome, soaked to the skin with dihydrogen monoxide, and just carried on like it was nothing. I would have been in a state of absolute panic." Krulix nodded, his compound eyes reflecting the memory. "I tell you, Ilara, my thorax nearly ruptured from the stress. There we were, the entire Iridian trade delegation, staring in slack-jawed horror as the humans dripped deadly dihydrogen monoxide all over the negotiation chamber. I was sure we were about to witness a mass casualty event." "But they didn't dissolve, not even a little bit?" Ilara asked, leaning forward intently. "Not a single one of them. Ambassador Grant just strode up to the table, leaving a trail of dihydrogen monoxide puddles behind him, and started discussing tariff rates like it was just another day at the office. He even had the audacity to pour himself a glass of the stuff from the pitcher on the table and drink it right in front of us." Ilara's eye stalks quivered in disbelief. "He ingested it directly and survived." "Not only survived, but seemed to enjoy it." He smacked his lips and said, "Nothing like a cool glass of water on a hot day, eh? Water, Ilara, that's what they call it. As if it's some harmless, refreshing beverage and not the most corrosive substance known to Iridian science." "I can scarcely imagine the level of fortitude required to withstand such exposure," Ilara mused, absently swirling his nutrient slurry. "The humans must have evolved some sort of incredible defense mechanism against dihydrogen monoxide. But to what end? What could have driven their biology to develop such a remarkable resistance?" Krulix's antennae twitched thoughtfully. "I don't know, Ilara, but one thing is certain. We cannot afford to underestimate the humans. Any species that can shrug off dihydrogen monoxide like it's nothing is a force to be reckoned with. We need to learn their secrets for the good of the Iridian conclave." Ilara nodded in agreement, his mind reeling with the implications of the humans' apparent invulnerability. "Indeed, Krulix. The humans have demonstrated a level of resilience that defies all logic. We must uncover the truth behind their immunity, no matter what it takes. The future of our people may very well depend on it." Krulix's eyes glinted with determination. Then it's settled. We'll redouble our efforts to study the humans and their inexplicable relationship with dihydrogen monoxide. We'll observe them, analyze them, even befriend them if we must. But one way or another, we will unlock the mystery of their resistance and harness that power for ourselves. The Iridian Conclave will not be left. Ilara's mandibles click in amusement at the memory. I thought my eye stalks were going to pop out of my head. There were tiny human offspring, splashing and playing in the shallows like it was the most natural thing in the world. And the adults. They were swimming out into the deep water, completely submerged, only to resurface moments later, laughing and spitting out mouthfuls of dihydrogen monoxide. Krulix shakes his head in disbelief. It defies all logic. How can a species evolve to not only tolerate, but actively enjoy something so deadly? I mean, we Iridians can barely handle a few drops of the stuff, and here the humans are, frolicking in it like it's their natural habitat. Ilara nods, his proboscis twitching thoughtfully. It makes you wonder what kind of hellish environment Earth must have been to force such adaptations. A planet where dihydrogen monoxide falls from the sky and pools in vast oceans. It's the stuff of nightmares. And yet the humans thrive in it, Krulix muses, his antennae drooping in contemplation. It's almost as if they're made of sterner stuff than the rest of us, like they've been forged in the crucible of a world that would kill most species outright. Ilara sips his nutrient slurry, mulling over the implications. It does put things in perspective, doesn't it? We've always considered ourselves the pinnacle of galactic evolution, but the humans, they're something else entirely. To not only survive, but flourish in the presence of dihydrogen monoxide. That's a level of resilience we can scarcely imagine. Krulix nods solemnly, his compound eyes reflecting the gravity of the realization. We've underestimated them, Ilara. All this time, we thought they were just another upstart species, stumbling their way onto the galactic stage. But now I see them for what they truly are, survivors. Adaptable, tenacious, and utterly fearless in the face of the universe's most deadly substance. Ilara's eye stalks quiver in agreement. Indeed, Krulix, the humans have shown us a glimpse of their true potential, and it's both awe-inspiring and terrifying. To think, a species that can swim in dihydrogen monoxide, drink it, even bathe in it. Krulix shudders, his exoskeleton rattling at the thought. And they do it all with a smile on their faces, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. It's enough to make your hemolymph run cold. Ilara sets down his empty nutrient slurry container, his mind buzzing with the implications of the human's incredible resilience. We have much to learn from them, Krulix. Their secrets could hold the key to our own survival, to pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. We must continue to study them, to unravel the mystery of their immunity to dihydrogen monoxide. Krulix's antennae twitch in agreement, his eyes glinting with a newfound respect for the enigmatic humans. Agreed, Ilara. The future of the Iridian Conclave, and perhaps the entire galaxy, may very well depend on understanding the humans and their remarkable abilities. We cannot afford to underestimate them any longer. The two Iridian diplomats sit in silence for a moment, each lost in their own thoughts as they contemplate the incredible implications of the humans' mastery over the universe's most deadly substance. The revelation of the humans' true nature has shaken them to their very cores, forcing them to reevaluate everything they thought they knew about the galaxy and their place within it. Ilara sinks back into his chair, his proboscis fluttering in wonderment. That's just it, Krulix. I'm beginning to think that the humans' relationship with dihydrogen monoxide goes far beyond mere bravery or insanity. It's almost as if they've evolved to not just tolerate it, but to thrive in it. Krulix's compound eyes widen, reflecting the weight of Ilara's words. You mean to suggest that the humans have some sort of symbiotic relationship with the substance, that their bodies have adapted to not only withstand its corrosive properties, but to actively benefit from it? Ilara nods, his eye stalks bobbing thoughtfully. Think about it. They immerse themselves in it, drink it, even expose their offspring to it from a young age. It's not just a matter of survival for them, it's a fundamental part of their existence. Krulix's antennae twitch, as he processes the implications. If that's true, then the humans' mastery over dihydrogen monoxide could be the key to their success as a species. It grants them a level of adaptability and resilience that few others can match. Krulux's mandibles click in astonishment. They've weaponized it. Ilara shakes his head. No, not weaponized. They've learned to work with it, to harness its properties for their own benefit. It's a partnership, a dance of sorts, between the humans and the most deadly substance known to Iridian kind. Krulux leans back, his exoskeleton creaking as he tries to wrap his mind around the concept. A dance with death, and the humans lead. It's both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Ilara nods solemnly, his eye stalks drooping with the weight of the revelation. We've always assumed that the key to galactic dominance lay in advanced technology or military might, but perhaps we've been looking in the wrong place. Perhaps the true path to power lies in understanding and mastering the very substances that threaten to destroy us. Krulux's antennae twitch in agreement, his gaze distant as he contemplates the future of the Iridian conclave in light of this new understanding. The humans have shown us a glimpse of what's possible, Ilara. They've opened our eyes to a truth we never could have imagined, and now it's up to us to decide what we do with that knowledge. Ilara reaches for his nutrient slurry, his proboscis trembling slightly as he takes a long, contemplative sip. The weight of the galaxy seems to press down upon them, the fate of their species hanging in the balance as they grapple with the implications of the humans' incredible relationship with dihydrogen monoxide. The path forward is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the humans have changed everything, and the Iridian conclave will never be the same. Ilara's proboscis twitches as he recounts the mind-boggling scene. I watched in morbid fascination as the human approached the vendor, exchanging some form of currency for a clear container filled to the brim with dihydrogen monoxide. The vendor even added ice to it, Krulux, frozen chunks of the very substance that would spell certain doom for our kind. Krulux's eye stalks nearly retract into his head from shock. Ice? They have the audacity to freeze dihydrogen monoxide and add it to their drinks. It's as if they're taunting death itself. Ilara nods vigorously, his nutrient slurry forgotten. And then, without a moment's hesitation, the human raised the container to his lips and took a deep gulp. I swear, Krulux, I could feel my hemolymph run cold as I watched the deadly liquid disappear down his throat. How his internal organs didn't dissolve on the spot is beyond me. Krulux shakes his head in disbelief, his antennae drooping. It defies all logic, Ilara. No species should be able to consume dihydrogen monoxide with such ease. It's a fundamental law of the universe. But that's not even the worst part, Ilara continues, his voice dropping to a whisper. The human, seeing my slack-jawed expression, had the nerve to offer me a sip. He held out the container, a friendly smile on his face, and said, "Here, you look like you could use a refreshing drink. Water's the best thing for a hot day like this." Krulux gasps, his compound eyes widening. He offered you a direct sample of dihydrogen monoxide. Is he insane? Does he not realize the harm it could cause? Ilara chuckles darkly, his eye stalks twitching. Oh, he realized, all right. But to him it was a completely normal gesture. I had to politely decline, trying my best not to let the sheer panic show on my face. The human just shrugged and took another swig, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Krulux leans back, his exoskeleton creaking. I'm starting to think that the human's relationship with dihydrogen monoxide goes far beyond mere resistance, Ilara. It's almost as if they've developed a symbiotic bond with the substance, one that defies all conventional wisdom. Ilara nods solemnly, his proboscis fluttering. Indeed, Krulux, the humans have shown us a side of the universe we never could have imagined. They've shattered our preconceptions and challenged our understanding of what's possible. And yet, I can't help but feel a sense of awe in the face of their incredible abilities. Krulux's antennae twitch in agreement, his gaze distant. It's humbling, isn't it, to think that a species could evolve to not only tolerate, but thrive in the presence of the galaxy's most deadly substance. It makes one wonder what other marvels they might be capable of. Elara reaches for his nutrient slurry, his mind reeling with the implications of the human's mastery over dihydrogen monoxide. One thing is certain, Krulix. We have much to learn from the humans, and perhaps even more to fear. For if they can conquer the unconquerable, what else might they achieve? The two Iridians sit in contemplative silence, the weight of their newfound knowledge hanging heavy in the air. The humans, once dismissed as a mere curiosity, now loom large in their minds as a force to be reckoned with, a species whose potential knows no bounds. And as they ponder the future, they can't help but wonder what other surprises the galaxy might hold, and whether they'll be ready to face them when the time comes. Krulix's mandibles click rapidly in disbelief. A pool, as in a purposefully constructed reservoir of dihydrogen monoxide for recreational purposes. I can scarcely believe what I'm hearing, Elara. The humans willingly immerse themselves in a substance that would dissolve our exoskeletons within seconds. And they do it for fun. Elara nods, his eye stalks bobbing emphatically. I couldn't believe it either, Krulix, but there they were, splashing around in the pool, tossing a colorful inflatable sphere back and forth, and laughing as if they weren't surrounded by the most corrosive liquid known to Iridian science. I had to fight the urge to flee the scene, convinced that at any moment I would witness a gruesome display of melting flesh and dissolving bones. Krulix shudders, his antennae twitching nervously. But they emerged unscathed, didn't they? No signs of chemical burns, no flesh sloughing off their bodies. Elara shakes his head, his proboscis fluttering in amazement. Not a single injury, Krulix. In fact, they seemed invigorated by the experience, their skin glistening with droplets of dihydrogen monoxide as they climbed out of the pool, grinning from ear to ear. It was as if the substance that would spell certain doom for our kind was nothing more than a harmless plaything to them. Krulix leans back in his chair, his compound eyes wide with wonder. The implications are staggering, Elara. If the humans can not only tolerate but actively enjoy immersing themselves in dihydrogen monoxide, their potential for survival in hostile environments is unparalleled. Imagine the worlds they could colonize, the resources they could exploit, all thanks to their immunity to the universe's most deadly solvent. Elara nods solemnly, his eye stalks drooping in contemplation. It's a sobering thought, Krulix. The humans possess a level of adaptability that we Iridians can only dream of. Their mastery over dihydrogen monoxide opens up a galaxy of possibilities, and it's becoming increasingly clear that we have only scratched the surface of their potential. Krulix reaches for his own nutrient slurry, his antennae twitching thoughtfully. And to think, Elara, we once dismissed them as a primitive, unremarkable species. How wrong we were. The humans have proven themselves to be survivors of the highest order, capable of thriving in conditions that would spell certain death for the rest of us. We must continue to study them, to learn from their incredible resilience, if we hope to keep pace in the galactic arena. Elara nods in agreement, his eye stalks swiveling to meet Krulix's gaze. Indeed, my friend, the humans have shown us that the key to survival lies not just in advanced technology or military might, but in the ability to adapt to and even embrace the most hostile of environments. They have much to teach us, and we would be wise to listen. As the two Iridians sit in contemplative silence, the weight of their newfound understanding hanging heavy in the air, they can't help but feel a sense of awe and trepidation at the incredible potential of the human species. The revelation of their mastery over dihydrogen monoxide has shaken the very foundations of Iridian knowledge, and the implications for the future of the galaxy are both exhilarating and terrifying. Elara takes another sip of his nutrient slurry, his mind reeling with the possibilities. You know, Krulix, I can't help but wonder what other secrets the humans might be hiding. If they can conquer dihydrogen monoxide, what other impossible feats might they be capable of? What other dangers might they shrug off as mere inconveniences? Krulix's antennae twitch in agreement, his gaze distant as he ponders the question. It's a daunting prospect, Elara. The humans have already proven themselves to be a force to be reckoned with, and we have only begun to scratch the surface of their potential. We must be cautious in our dealings with them, lest we find ourselves outmatched and outmaneuvered by a species we once underestimated. Elara nods solemnly, his eye stalks drooping with the weight of the realization. Indeed, Krulix, the humans have changed the game, and it's up to us to adapt if we hope to survive in this new galactic order. We must learn from them, study them, and perhaps even seek to emulate their incredible resilience in the face of the universe's most daunting challenges. As the two Iridians sit in the quiet of the observation deck, the vastness of space stretching out before them, they can't help but feel a sense of humility in the face of the humans' incredible achievements. The species that once seemed so insignificant, so unremarkable, has proven itself to be a true marvel of the cosmos, a testament to the power of adaptation and the indomitable spirit of life itself. And as they ponder the future, Elara and Krulix know that the path ahead will be fraught with challenges and uncertainties, but they also know that the humans have given them a glimpse of what is possible, a roadmap to survival in an unforgiving universe. And with that knowledge, they stand ready to face whatever the galaxy may throw their way, armed with a newfound respect for the incredible potential of the human species and a determination to unlock the secrets of their own resilience in the face of the unknown. Krulix's compound eyes bulge as he processes Elara's account. The sheer generosity of these humans astounds me, to offer to replace the very substance they were frolicking in solely for your comfort and inclusion. It boggles the mind. Elara's eye stalks bob in agreement, his proboscis fluttering. I know, right? I was so taken aback I could barely stammer out a response. The fact that they would even consider draining their beloved pool and filling it with a foreign liquid, just to accommodate a single guest, it speaks volumes about their character. Krulix leans forward, his antennae twitching with curiosity. And what did you say, Elara? Did you take Ambassador Grant's wife up on her offer? Elara chuckles, shaking his bulbous head. No, as tempting as it was to see a pool full of nutrient slurry, I couldn't possibly impose like that. I graciously declined, but expressed my deepest appreciation for the gesture. Sarah just smiled and said, "Any time, Elara, our pool is your pool." Krulix sits back, his exoskeleton creaking. Incredible. The humans continue to surprise us at every turn. Not only do they possess an unparalleled immunity to the universe's most deadly substance, but they also display a level of empathy and inclusivity that puts us Iridians to shame. Elara nods solemnly, his eye stalks drooping. Indeed, Krulix, we have much to learn from these humans. Their ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity is matched only by their capacity for kindness and understanding. It's a humbling realization. Krulix reaches for his nutrient slurry, his mandibles clicking thoughtfully. You know, Elara, I'm beginning to think that the humans' relationship with dihydrogen monoxide is more than just a biological quirk. It's a reflection of their very nature, fluid, adaptable, and capable of embracing change. Elara's eye stalks perk up, intrigued by Krulix's observation. Go on, Krulix, I'm listening. Krulix takes a sip of his slurry, his compound eyes glinting. Think about it. The humans don't just tolerate dihydrogen monoxide, they embrace it. They immerse themselves in it, play in it, even consume it. It's not just a substance to them, it's an integral part of their lives. And in doing so, they demonstrate a remarkable ability to find joy and connection in the face of adversity. Elara's proboscis quivers with excitement. You're onto something, Krulix. The humans' relationship with water is a metaphor for their entire approach to life. They don't shy away from challenges or differences, they dive in head first, eager to learn and adapt. It's a mindset that we Iridians could certainly benefit from. Elara leans back, his eye stalks twitching in contemplation. That's truly remarkable, Krulix. It seems that no matter how many times we think we've seen the extent of human adaptability and generosity, they continue to surprise us. Krulix nods, his antennae bobbing in agreement. Indeed, Dr. Turner's offer to find alternative activities that didn't involve dihydrogen monoxide was a testament to their inclusivity. He seemed genuinely excited to share his culture with me, even if it meant stepping outside of his own comfort zone. Elara takes a sip of his nutrient slurry, his proboscis quivering. I wonder what kind of activities he might have suggested. Surely there must be some forms of human recreation that don't involve immersing oneself in a deadly liquid. Krolix chuckles, his compound eyes glinting with amusement. Actually, he did mention a few. He spoke of something called laser tag, where participants engage in a simulated battle using harmless beams of light. He also described bowling, a game involving rolling a heavy sphere down a lane to knock over a set of pins. Ilara's eye stalks perk up with interest. Fascinating. These activities sound much more approachable for our kind. No risk of dissolution or chemical burns. Krolix nods, his antennae twitching thoughtfully. Indeed. And the fact that Dr. Turner was so willing to suggest them, to find common ground despite our vast differences, speaks volumes about the human capacity for empathy and understanding. Ilara leans forward, his proboscis fluttering. It makes you wonder, Krolix, if the humans can be so adaptable and inclusive in their recreational activities, what other areas of their society might benefit from such a mindset? Krolix takes another sip of his slurry, his eyes growing distant. I can only imagine, Ilara, a species that can find joy and connection in the face of adversity, that can bridge gaps and foster understanding across even the most extreme divides. The potential is staggering. Ilara nods solemnly, his eye stalks drooping with the weight of the realization. It seems we have much to learn from the humans, my friend, not just about their incredible physiology, but about their capacity for compassion, for finding common ground in the most unlikely of places. Krolix's antennae twitch in agreement, a glimmer of hope in his compound eyes. Indeed, Ilara, the humans have shown us a glimpse of what is possible when a species embraces adaptability and inclusivity. It's a lesson we would do well to take to heart. As the two Iridians sit in contemplative silence, the weight of their newfound understanding hanging in the air, they can't help but feel a sense of awe and inspiration. The humans, once a mere curiosity, now stand as a shining example of what can be achieved when empathy and understanding triumph over differences. And as Ilara and Krolix ponder the future, they know that the path ahead may be uncertain, but with the wisdom of the humans to guide them, anything is possible. Ilara's eye stalks suddenly perk up, a thought occurring to him. You know, Krolix, I can't help but wonder, if the humans are so adept at finding common ground and fostering inclusivity, perhaps we've been approaching our own diplomatic efforts all wrong. Krolix leans forward, intrigued by Ilara's suggestion. What do you mean, Ilara? Ilara's proboscis quivers with excitement as he explains. Well, think about it. We've always focused on highlighting our strengths, our technological advancements, our cultural achievements. But what if instead we took a page from the human playbook and focused on finding common ground, on adapting to the needs and interests of those we seek to engage with? Krolix's antennae twitch thoughtfully, his compound eyes widening with realization. You're onto something, Ilara. If we could learn to be as adaptable and inclusive as the humans, to find ways to connect despite our differences, imagine the doors it could open for the Iridian conclave. Ilara nods, his eye stalks bobbing with enthusiasm. Exactly. We could forge new alliances, break down barriers, and foster a sense of unity and understanding across the galaxy. And it all starts with taking a cue from the humans and their incredible capacity for empathy and adaptability. Krolix takes a long sip of his nutrient slurry, his mind buzzing with the possibilities. It won't be easy, Ilara. We'll have to challenge our own preconceptions, step outside of our comfort zones, and be willing to meet others halfway. But if the humans can do it, even in the face of something as deadly as dihydrogen monoxide, surely we can find the courage to follow their lead. Ilara's proboscis flutters with determination, his eye stalks fixed on the stars beyond the observation deck. You're right, Krolix. It will take courage and no small amount of effort, but the rewards could be immeasurable. A galaxy united by understanding, by the power of finding common ground. It's a vision worth fighting for. As the two Iridians sit in the quiet of the observation deck, the weight of their newfound purpose settling over them like a mantle, they can't help but feel a sense of excitement and trepidation. The road ahead may be long and fraught with challenges, But with the wisdom of the humans to guide them and the strength of their own convictions to sustain them, they know that anything is possible. And as they gaze out at the stars, they can almost see it, a future where the Iridian Conclave stands not just as a beacon of technological achievement, but as a shining example of empathy, adaptability, and the power of finding common ground. Krolix's antennas suddenly twitch with a newfound energy, his compound eyes glinting with determination. You know what, Ilara? I think it's time we took action. We can't just sit here and marvel at the humans' incredible capacity for inclusivity and adaptability. We need to start implementing these lessons in our own lives, in our own diplomatic efforts. Ilara nods vigorously, his eye stalks bobbing with excitement. I couldn't agree more, Krolix, but where do we start? How do we begin to embed these principles into the very fabric of Iridian society? Krolix leans forward, his voice lowering with conspiratorial enthusiasm. I say we start small, Ilara. We lead by example. In our own interactions, both with our fellow Iridians and with the other species we encounter, we make a conscious effort to find common ground, to adapt to their needs and interests, to foster a sense of inclusivity and understanding. Ilara's proboscis quivers with anticipation, his mind already racing with the possibilities. Yes, yes, and as we do so, we share our experiences. We inspire others to follow our lead. We show them the power of the human way, the incredible potential that lies in embracing empathy and adaptability. Krolix's antennae stand at attention, his whole body thrumming with energy. And from there, Ilara, we build. We take these principles and we weave them into the very fabric of our diplomatic efforts, our cultural exchanges, our scientific collaborations. We create a new paradigm for the Iridian Conclave, one based not just on technological prowess, but on the power of connection, of understanding, of finding unity in diversity. Ilara's eye stalks nearly vibrate with excitement, his voice rising with each word. It's a revolution, Krolix, a revolution of the mind, of the heart, of the very soul of our species, and it all starts with us, here, now, in this moment. We have the power to change everything, to set the Iridian Conclave on a new path, one that leads to a brighter, more connected future. Krolix reaches out, grasping Ilara's appendage in a gesture of solidarity, his compound eyes shining with the fire of conviction. Then let it begin, Ilara. Let us be the spark that ignites the flames of change. Let us show the galaxy what the Iridian Conclave is truly capable of, when we embrace the wisdom of the humans and the power of empathy and adaptability. As the two Iridians stand there, appendages clasped, eyes locked in a gaze of unwavering determination, they can feel the weight of the moment, the gravity of the decision they've just made. They know that the road ahead will be long and challenging, that they will face resistance and setbacks at every turn, but they also know that they have the strength of their convictions, the wisdom of the humans, and the unshakable bond of their friendship to guide them through. And as they stand there, ready to take the first steps on this new path, they can't help but feel a sense of hope, of excitement, of the incredible possibilities that lie ahead. For they know that this is just the beginning, the first spark of a revolution that will change the Iridian Conclave, and perhaps the galaxy itself forever. Krolix's compound eyes widen in amazement as he listens to Ilara's story. Incredible. The human not only recognized your vulnerability to dihydrogen monoxide, but he actively took steps to protect you, even at the cost of his own comfort. That level of empathy and selflessness is truly remarkable. Ilara nods, his proboscis quivering with emotion. It was a humbling experience, Krolix. As the rain pelted down around us, John held his jacket over my head, ensuring that not a single droplet touched my exoskeleton. He guided me swiftly across the field, his own clothes becoming drenched in the process, but he never once complained or hesitated. Krolix leans back, his antennae twitching thoughtfully, and to think he did all this without a second thought, as if it were the most natural thing in the world to him. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? The way humans can extend their compassion and understanding, even to species so different from their own. Ilara's eye stalks bob in agreement. Indeed, When we finally reached the shelter, I was stunned to see that it was filled with an assortment of tools and equipment, all designed for beings of my stature and physiology. John had apparently prepared it in advance, just in case of such an event. Krulix's mandibles click in surprise. He had a shelter specifically designed for Iridian visitors. The level of foresight and consideration is astounding. Ilara's voice takes on a tone of reverence. But that's not even the most remarkable part, Krulix. As we waited for the rain to subside, John began to ask me questions about Iridian culture, our agricultural practices, and the challenges we face on our home planet. He listened intently, genuinely interested in understanding and learning from our perspectives. Krulix leans forward, his eyes glinting with curiosity. A human taking the time to learn about our ways, even in the midst of a potentially dangerous situation. That speaks volumes about their character and their desire to connect with others. Ilara nods solemnly. It was a profound moment, Krulix. There we were, two beings from vastly different worlds, brought together by a shared experience and a simple act of kindness. And in that moment, I realized that the humans' greatest strength lies not in their invulnerability to dihydrogen monoxide, but in their capacity for compassion, understanding, and the willingness to reach out across the vast divides that separate us. Ilara's eye stalks droop in contemplation, the weight of the moment settling upon him. Indeed, Krulix, and it's a lesson we must take to heart, not just as individuals, but as a species. For if we can learn to embrace the human way, to extend our own compassion and understanding across the stars, imagine the possibilities that await us. The two Iridians sit in silence, each lost in their own thoughts as they contemplate the profound impact of Ilara's experience. The rain continues to fall outside, a reminder of the vast differences that separate them from the humans, but also a symbol of the bridges that can be built, the connections that can be forged when empathy and compassion light the way. Krulix's compound eyes shimmer with a mix of admiration and apprehension. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? The very traits that make the humans such remarkable allies could also leave them vulnerable to those who would seek to exploit their good nature. Ilara nods slowly, his eye stalks drooping with the weight of the realization. I fear you may be right, Krulix. The humans' openness and trust, their willingness to see the best in others, could blind them to the darker intentions of those who would do them harm. Krulix's antennae twitch nervously, his mind racing with the possibilities. And their incredible resilience, their ability to withstand even the most deadly of substances. What if a malevolent species were to discover a weakness that we cannot even fathom? A chink in their armor that could be exploited to devastating effect? Ilara shudders, his proboscis quivering with unease. It's a terrifying thought. The humans have shown us such kindness, such understanding, but in doing so, they may have unwittingly painted a target on their backs. Their very strength could become their greatest liability. Krulix leans forward, his voice lowering to a whisper. We must be vigilant, Ilara. We must watch for any signs of those who would seek to take advantage of the humans' good nature, who would use their openness and invulnerability against them. Ilara nods solemnly, his eye stalks swiveling to meet Krulix's gaze. Indeed, my friend, we owe it to the humans to be their eyes and ears, to help protect them from those who would do them harm. They have shown us such compassion, such inclusivity. We cannot let that be their undoing. The two Iridians sit in silence for a moment, the weight of their conversation hanging heavy in the air. The once light-hearted discussion of human resilience and adaptability has taken on a much darker tone, tinged with the realization that those very qualities could also be the human's greatest vulnerability. Krulix's antennae droop, his proboscis twitching with a mix of sadness and determination. We must be their allies, Ilara. We must stand with the humans to help guard against those who would seek to exploit their trust and openness. They have shown us a kindness that knows no bounds. We cannot let that be their downfall. Ilara's eye stalks bob in agreement, a fierce resolve settling over his features. You're right, Krulix. The humans have given us a gift, a glimpse into a world of compassion and understanding that we never knew existed. We must do everything in our power to protect that, to ensure that their light is not extinguished by those who would seek to abuse it. Krulix reaches out, grasping Ilara's appendage in a gesture of solidarity. Together, my friend, we will stand with the humans. We will be their watchful guardians, their steadfast allies. We will not let their kindness be their undoing. As the two Iridians sit there, appendages clasped in a solemn vow, the weight of their newfound purpose settles over them like a mantle. They know that the path ahead will be fraught with challenges, that the humans' greatest strengths could also be their greatest weaknesses. But they also know that they will not face those challenges alone, that they will stand together, united in their determination to protect the remarkable species that has shown them the true meaning of compassion and inclusivity. The once light-hearted conversation has taken on a new gravity, a sense of urgency and purpose that neither Iridian could have anticipated. But as they sit there, their resolve hardening with each passing moment, they know that they are ready to face whatever the future may bring, to stand side by side with the humans in the face of any threat, no matter how daunting. Ilara's voice breaks the silence, a quiet but fierce declaration. For the humans, Krulix, for the kindness they have shown us, for the trust they have placed in us, we will not let them down. Krulix nods, his own voice thick with emotion. For the humans, Ilara, may their light continue to shine, may their compassion continue to inspire, and may we stand with them always as their unwavering allies and protectors. The two Iridians sit in silence once more, their gazes locked, their appendages still clasped in a gesture of unity and determination. The future may be uncertain, the path ahead may be fraught with danger, but one thing is clear. The humans have changed them, have shown them the true power of kindness and openness, and they will stop at nothing to ensure that that power is protected, nurtured, and allowed to flourish, no matter the cost. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.